Hello, and we are Group 1. Our project is on renewable energy solar plants in the case study of Joshua Tree versus NextEra energy resources. Mary will discuss the history overview. Brian will examine the major stakeholders. Carla will identify the problem, and Alex will evaluate the solution.
After the Civil War, the U.S. economy took off in a positive direction. At the same time, French innovators were advancing in newly developed technology called photovoltaic, which also known PV, which generate electricity from the sunlight. The Second World War, U.S. government expanded their technology along with new innovators from the universities and firms. The three inventors from Bell Laboratories, funded by the U.S. government agency called Research and Development Facility, made an exclusive right for creating electricity directly from the sunlight, silicon-based solar cells, which eventually transformed into PV solar energy today. The next slide is a history of how the solar panel works.
As of last year, there were 8 working solar farms in Cambridgeshire. Like this one in Chittenden. With another 23 in consideration under construction already, South Cambridgeshire is becoming known as the solar farm capital of the UK. But some people aren't so happy about this. They think that solar farms take up too much greenbelt land and also might not be able to meaningfully contribute to our energy needs. So with all that contention, how do solar farms actually work and how much energy are we getting from them? Harnessing the sun's energy is not a novel idea. Trees and plants have been doing it for hundreds of millions of years, and algae even before that. Increasingly, energy firms are eyeing the possibility of converting the same energy directly to electricity. Most solar panels are made of silicon, the same stuff that computer chips are made from. Without light, the electrons in the panel don't have enough energy for an electric current to flow. But when photons of light hit the panel, the energy from the photons is transferred to the silicon's electrons, freeing them to flow across the panel and producing an electric current. The brighter the light, the more photons there are to release electrons. The more electrons there are, the higher the current, and the higher the current, the more power is produced.
Roy Williams Airport, formerly known as High Desert Airport in Joshua Tree, which is also located in San Bernardino County, are one of the areas under consideration for installing a photovoltaic solar farms. Residents of the community are concerned. Their property value may decrease and tourism around the area may also decline due to unattractive view of solar panels. Currently, the airport is inadequate for landing, and the Richardson family, owner of the airport, made it available for purchase for $4 million. It will cost the city major funding to repair and sustain the airport, considering most of the visitors come through the city would rather hike to the national park. For the most part, the city of Joshua Tree will benefit of having PV solar farms by creating jobs to locals, sustainability becoming the major source of power in San Bernardino, and will reduce pollution in the near future. It is very important for the business industry to communicate with the public. History suggested that business lost the favor from the public because they blamed the society during the Depression. This has not changed how the public view toward the business today, especially the recent recession.
When plans for major projects, i.e. NextEra Energy Resources solar plant, are established, it is important to consider the stakeholder model. This concept refers to the relationship between government and businesses, where corporations must consider the stake that any group may have based off the decisions or actions made, and these interactions guide policies. Stakeholders are defined as shareholders, employees, suppliers, consumers, and society as a whole who are affected directly or as an externality, positive or negative, as a result. I will talk about those stakeholders, the residents of the community of Joshua Tree, the environment, NextEra energy resources, and society who will be affected by the construction of the solar farm. Residents' major claims suggest that their status as a quasi-desert resort will be negatively affected because of the development that is to occur. The result would produce a negative externality because it distresses the desert's scenic view, discouraging their niche consumer from returning. From this argument, it can be concluded that the small community's economy will be adversely affected in the process due to the negative variance in visitors. Another of the community's grievances relates to the effect that the project will have on immediate surrounding environment. In most cases of solar farm sprawl, many plants and animals are displaced due to development. California has already approved 8, in total 11, major solar plant projects that will require the destruction of unsettled lands in the Mojave Desert. In the case of Joshua Tree, NextEra Energy Resources plans to construct the farm in place of existing airports as to not disturb any land unnecessarily. Plants and animals are still affected. The endangered desert tortoise that resides in the Mojave Desert has a population that has been in decline since the 1980s. Would anyone benefit from this project? The company NextEra Energy Resources will benefit numerous ways with the implementation of the additional solar farm. Increased profits, tax credits, positive consumer perceptions, production of greater quantities of energy, and continued leadership in the renewable energies field. The Office of the Comptroller of Currency states that the investment tax credit program offers a reduction in federal income taxes by 30% in the form of tax credit to owners or properties that meet their energy requirements by January 1st, 2017. NextEra is not the only beneficial stakeholder. In all actuality, society as a whole is considered a primary beneficiary. Society encounters negative externalities when the production of energy is derived from fossil fuels. Approximately 67% of electricity that was produced in 2014 was the result of converting fossil fuels, which released dangerous chemicals like carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and others that result in the incremental poor air quality, acid rain, and acceleration of global warming. Energy Information Administration of the U.S. states that the greater the increase in renewable energies, the more effects caused by traditional energy production are reduced. There are numerous other benefits society has to gain with the production of solar farms, like increase in jobs.
Next, I'm going to be talking about some of the problems, some key points that I'm going to be addressing is community opposition, concerned local residents, damages city's environment, devalues city's economy. Community opposition. Every city outweighs the benefits and disadvantages of any new change taking place in its community. In the case of Joshua Tree versus NextEra Resource Company, the community believes the preservation of their wilderness environment and protection of other elements such as plants and water source is far more precious than utilizing the space for a solar farm. Concerned local residents. Beautiful views of nature in the morning is what draws residents to reside in unincorporated areas such as Joshua Tree. Some arguments local residents express is that having a solar farm installed in their community's backyard decreases the sense of nature and also home values. Damages city environment. According to the National Park Conservation Association, desert species are at risk due to solar development. A solution has been to fence the project area. However, this will only keep out large-sized animals such as bighorn sheep and tortoise, but it will not safeguard against the damage done to birds, reptile species, and desert plants, among other elements. An argument made by environmentalist conservation is that the species' habitats will disappear if not protected against solar development. Devalue city's economy. The installation of solar panels provides local residents renewable energy. However, the community believes the glare from solar panels will spoil the majestic views and wilderness experience tourists seek to experience when visiting Joshua Tree. This will result in sales decline from tourism, hence declining the city's economy.
Alright, so this is Alex. I'm gonna be going over the solutions to the issues between Joshua Tree and the solar power company. First solution was to only install solar panel canopies around the airports, parking lots, as well as around the city, or even just on top of the residents' housing. This would allow for the airport to still remain intact, and it would still allow the company to install solar panels around the city of Joshua Tree. The second solution, if the company NextEra was to incentivize the city of Joshua Tree so they could regain what they will lose with the demolition of this historic airport, then I'm sure this would be another solution since the residents would agree to the proposed project. Third solution would be the location of Joshua Tree is an ideal location for a solar power farm because of its high energy output of the desert environment, and there is no crop farms in the locations that will be affected. This would be the final solution since the local residents would save money on their electricity bill as well. The solutions I suggested were reasonable ones in order to have the satisfaction of both the local residents and the solar system company NextEra Energy Resources. In the end, the San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors voted 3-2 on the proposal to not build the 3 megawatt solar power plant on the 35-acre airport in the high desert community of Joshua Tree. The Landers Association, with the help of a dozen community residents and other distant residents, helped file an appeal which assisted to reject the project. The solar company argued that it would have created 70 new construction jobs in the city of Joshua Tree.